Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're digging into the global AI race. And this thing is way more than just a tech competition. It's really a clash of huge national strategies, different cultures, and honestly, completely different visions for what the future should even look like.
All right, let's just jump right in with the question that's on everyone's mind anytime you hear about a global race like this one.
And that is, of course, who's winning? Well, if you just look at one metric, just the raw numbers, especially around intellectual property, yeah, one country seems to be leaving everyone else in the dust.
I mean, just look at this. The scale of China's lead here, it's absolutely staggering. We're talking about roughly 300,000 AI patent applications filed in 2024 alone. That's more than 4 times what the US filed. So at first glance, you might just look at this chart and think, okay, well, game over, right?
But it's not that simple. The real story here isn't just about the numbers you see on the surface. It's kind of like an iceberg, you know? What's really going on is hidden just out of sight. So let's dig a little deeper, because when you start to really look at the patent data itself, you see 2 completely different strategies unfolding. It's a classic tale, really, quantity versus quality.
Think about this. China's state-backed push means they are filing for something like 70% of all the AI patents in the entire world. This isn't just a happy accident. It's a very deliberate, very focused national strategy to create this massive portfolio of intellectual property.
And this is where you can really see those 2 competing philosophies in action. China is playing a volume game, right? They're focused on domestic applications, so much so that only about 7% of their AI patents are even filed overseas. The US, on the other hand, is playing an impact game. American AI patents get cited nearly 7 times more often. That's a huge tell. It suggests they're more foundational, the kind of stuff the rest of the global tech world is building on.
So you see, the crucial point here is that these numbers reflect 2 fundamentally different national strategies. It's not just about stats on a chart, it's about how you plan to win this race. It's not just what you invent, it's how you plan to deploy it.
Let's break down those competing ecosystems. In the US, you've got this, it's kind of chaotic, but it's an incredibly powerful bottom-up approach. It's all driven by startups and venture capitalists, everyone racing to find that next world-changing breakthrough. China? Totally different. It's a highly disciplined, top-down plan, with the government directing this huge national effort toward one primary goal: widespread adoption and data.
And at the very heart of China's plan is this concept they call AI+. Now, when you hear that, don't think about some sci-fi superintelligence. It's actually way more practical and immediate than that.
I love this quote because it just nails it. The goal is getting AI into the noodle shop on the corner, not just building Skynet. It's all about practical, widespread use, literally everywhere in society. They want to make AI a fundamental utility, like electricity or the internet, just baked into everyday life. And they're not just hoping this happens. The Chinese government has set these super aggressive, totally measurable targets. They want AI adoption to hit over 70% by 2027, and get this, over 90% by 2030. That is a crystal clear message to integrate this technology into every single part of the economy.
But that begs the question, right? What is driving these completely different strategies? Why is one country all about the next big invention, while the other is obsessed with getting everyone to use what already exists? Well, the answer might actually be found in deep-seated cultural values.
And the research shows a really stark difference here in AI acceptance. If you look at Eastern nations like China, Singapore, and India, about 55% of companies are already using AI. But in the West, France, Spain, the US, it's only 29%. That is almost double the adoption rate. That's huge.
Okay, so how do we explain that? Cultural psychology gives us a really interesting lens. In what we call individualistic cultures, like the US, there's a huge value placed on being unique, on self-expression. But in collectivist cultures, like China, the emphasis is more on social harmony, on what's best for the group as a whole.
And these values directly shape how people perceive AI. If you see yourself as a totally distinct, separate individual, AI can feel like an external force, maybe even a threat to your economy or your job. That can lead to skepticism. But if you see yourself as part of a larger group, you might see AI as a tool that can extend your capabilities, something that promotes fairness for everyone. And that leads to much broader acceptance. Here's a simple way to think about it. A baker in a Western culture might look at a bread machine and feel like it's a threat, a substandard alternative to their craft. But someone from a collectivist culture might just see it as a really helpful tool that lets them make more bread for everyone. One sees a threat to their individuality, the other sees an efficient helper for the group.
Okay, So we've got these different national paths, driven by strategy and by culture. Why does any of this matter to you and me?
Well, it matters because AI is what's known as a dual-use technology. It's a total double-edged sword. For every incredible boost in productivity, like discovering new medicines or making one person as effective as 5, there's a flip side, a huge potential for misuse. We're talking sophisticated phishing emails, convincing deepfake videos, spreading disinformation at a scale we've never seen before.
And this leads to an absolutely crucial takeaway for the future of work. And this is true no matter where you live. AI won't replace you. A person using AI will. The real issue isn't the technology itself, it's getting left behind by the people who have mastered it.
So ultimately, these diverging strategies, these different cultural views, they raise a final, really critical question for the entire world. As these incredibly powerful technologies keep advancing on such different tracks, is the future of AI going to be a story of competition or collaboration? That's the big question we're all going to have to answer.